Hello, and welcome to Project 3, shifting from 2D to 3D, drawing in space. And I'm going to show you first a film about Alexander Calder, a very famous sculptor.
A one-man show in Paris was rather harder to get than in New York. Finally, a dealer named Worms, whom Calder would forever call Monsieur Worms, offered his gallery, as long as the artist would pay for the privilege. The show was a modest success, enough at least for Calder to earn back the bribe. After his second European exhibition in Berlin, art critics began at last to take Calder's work seriously. "The figures are amazing," wrote one reviewer. "In these works of art, all artistic rules are suspended." Aboard ship once more in 1929, Calder met Louisa James, grandniece of the philosopher William James and the novelist Henry James. They fell deeply in love. At his second New York show, hardly a year since the first, the gallery was practically overflowing with wire sculptures, wood carvings, paintings, toys, and jewelry. What would prove most significant, he had begun to create freestanding mechanical sculpture. As his reputation grew, the newly founded Harvard Society of Contemporary Art invited him to show his wire sculpture.
They were very excited that they were going to do a show with Calder. And they pick him up at the train, and he doesn't have any art with him. And they're flabbergasted. They'd scraped together money to bring him up to Cambridge to have this show. And they said, Sandy, what's going on? Where's the art? And he reaches into the pocket of his overcoat, pulls out a spool of wire, and he says, "Here it is." And he goes off to the gallery with them, and he creates the show on the spot.
So that was actually just clips from the American Masters movie about Alexander Calder. But I thought it was important to see a portion of it, the portion that had to do with his wire drawings. He was a really extremely prolific artist, and he was also the pioneer of the mobile, which was a sculpture that would hang or generally be suspended and had movement that would happen. It was balanced. It was all these elements that were balanced, and wind would make it move, and we'll learn more about that later. And then he was also the pioneer of the stabile, which was a great big large sculpture that would be freestanding most often in a public space. And he had we actually have one at the Seattle Art Museum. So here you're seeing some of his works that he did that were portraits. He would, as I said, like go to a party and just make portraits of people with wire that he carried around with him. And that was his sort of launching point into, or the work that started getting him famous before he got onto the work that he's really known for now, which is the mobiles and stabiles. And so now I'm going to give you a demonstration of what you need to do for this next project. And the first thing is to do a blind contour line drawing of your face. And if you've taken a class with me, maybe my beginning studio arts class, you've done this many, many times. But this time you're doing your own self-portrait. So what you do is you get a mirror, or you get set up your phone or your computer with the camera on so that you can see your face. You look only at your image in that device or in that mirror. You don't look at your page. So you're going to have a piece of paper and a writing utensil, and you're going to put it down on the page, and you're not going to look at it again, just at the mirror, and you're going to use one continuous line to draw your face, the contours and the features, while you look at yourself in the mirror. And I want you to go slow, and I want you to really, this is an exercise that I generally have with students to teach hand-eye coordination. We're using it for a different purpose in this project. But what I want you to do is go really slow and have your eyes trace the contours and details of your face, and try to have your hand match that without looking at the paper. So here is the results of my work. I have one continuous line. You can kind of see how I connected things. It will come out wacky looking. That is totally normal, totally fine. Feel free to do it a couple times if you want, but it's mainly just an exercise, a training. So it doesn't have to be perfect. Then you're going to measure out 5 feet of your wire. If you don't have wire, try to find something else that you can bend fairly easily. Bunch of twist ties together. Not sure, but the worst case scenario, just do a couple of contour line drawings if you don't have any wire. With this wire, you can just cut it with the scissors. You're welcome to use pliers if you have them. It's better to use pliers because it's not great for the scissors to do that, but it's fine. So once you have approximately 5 feet of wire, then you are going to spend time carefully trying to bend it into some kind of portrait or likeness of yourself. You want to aim for some three-dimensionality, but this is only 5 feet of wire, so you're not going to get this full round head. If you really love doing this and you want to add more wire, that is okay. But I'm starting you out with 5 feet so it's more manageable. And if you don't like what you get, it's very easy to just straighten it back out and start over again. However, these do not have to be perfect. So please don't beat yourself up with this project by doing it again and again and again and thinking it's not good enough. Even if you wind up with something that looks like a cartoon character, you have done good enough. So you're going to slowly bend it. You may use pliers if you want to have really tight bends or tight twists. If you have a pair, great. If you don't, this wire bends very easily without them. And so it's not necessary to have that tool. So you can see I just use the pliers to kind of bend, like scrunch down or crimp where my eyebrow is. But you could even just push it against the table and get the same effect. It's very soft wire. The other thing you can do is you can twist it together in points if you want to create structure or stability. If the wire breaks or you need to add in a wire. Or if you just like the look of it. So feel free to twist the wire together in places. You don't have to have just one continuous line that doesn't touch anything else. So yeah, I'm just slowly kind of looking at my drawing, looking at the mirror. You don't have to match the drawing, but the drawing is there as a reminder of how you did things. Like, how did you trace the eyeball and then go down the side of the nose and then somehow reach the mouth? Like, how did those connections happen? And that drawing you don't need to trace it, but you do need to, but I suggest you use it to inform how you get from one part of the face to the other, or from one feature to the other. So I'm just going to let you watch this for a bit. I know it's a little bit tedious, but the reason why I am not speeding it up is because I want you to be able to just see the details of how I'm doing this. I apologize for being not kind of centered on the video, but you can see that I'm just sort of working from one end to another, and it gets a little beat up as you work on it, and so you often go back and kind of straighten things out, realign things as you go. There's a lot of making something and then backtracking and adjusting everything else. I'm working life size too. It's okay to deviate if you want to work smaller and have more of a bust. It probably would be harder. I wouldn't recommend working much bigger. However, if you're someone that wants to work bigger or feel like 5 feet is not enough, give yourself some more wire. It's okay to even start. I wanted to save some of the wire for another project. But we can make do if you really get into this and you want to use it all, or if you just want to start by unrolling part of the wire and just using it till you're done. But just, I would say, if possible, leave at least half of your wire for the next assignment. But don't stress if you wind up using more. Alright, I'm almost there. I know this is riveting cinema, but like I said, I want you to be able to just watch how I'm kind of manipulating it, and also, and I've had some practice with it, but it doesn't take an extraordinarily long amount of time. I believe that you should be able to get the first 2 pieces done in a class period. The 2 pieces of the project done in a class period. So now what I'm doing is putting something so I can hang it, and I would recommend doing that early on so that you can hang it up and kind of manipulate it. You know, if you have it hanging, then you have 2 free hands to try to bend and see how it looks. You can photograph it on a table, but I recommend trying to photograph it hanging from something. If you notice, that was how all of Calder's work was documented, and because of the way wire moves, and its buoyancy, and that it picks up wind and kind of turns, it's, I would say, way more intriguing, way more beautiful if you allow it to hang from something and actually be a sculpture, as opposed to just something that lays on the table next to the drawing. I will totally contradict myself shortly when you'll see mine lying on the table as a drawing, but this is how I think it should be displayed. And if you notice, just you won't get the movement in a photograph. So there you go. It's laying on the table. It's fine too. It has a shadow, so it's, you know. So the project is a 2D to 3D drawing in space. And so what I want you to do is create a blind contour line drawing of your face. This is your first part of the assignment. Get a drawing instrument and a piece of paper and look in a mirror or your cell phone in selfie mode. And do not look at your page at all. And I want you to put your pencil or whatever it is you're using to draw on the page, and then without picking it back up and without looking at that page, draw the contours and details of your face in one continuous line. Once you've completed that, I want you to get a 5-foot length of wire, more or less, but more or less 5 feet, and then slowly bend the wire to create a single line drawing of your face. You may look at the wire for this project, but be sure to look at your face more in the mirror. So what I tell students is 80-20, 80% looking at the thing that you're trying to create, in this case your face, 20% looking at the medium you're creating it with, which would be your wire. And then once you've created that, I want you to document it and put it online by our critique on April 6th. All right. I hope that you have fun, and I really look forward to seeing what you create. Have a great week. Thank you.